Welcome to Spotlight, the podcast produced by the Calgary Marketing Association. I'm here with Derek and Marc, and my name is Laila Hobbs, the guest for today. Amazing. I am doing the intro, though.
You're really good at this.
Okay, who are your partners? Let me get those corporate sponsors.
There's a lot of them.
All right, please see the fine print.
Yeah, just thank you so much to the Calgary Marketing Association corporate partners. Without them, we wouldn't be able to run events or do podcasts like this and have guests like Laila on the podcast here. So this is impromptu.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we're excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In your own studio.
In my own space.
Yeah, thanks for having yourself. Yeah,
We're super excited about being able to do this, but maybe your story is really interesting. That's mostly what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe let's start with why start this? What was the whole reason behind it?
Yeah, so the whole reason in a nutshell is I worked for a marketing agency who I didn't think was doing a very good job, and I said, I think I could do this better, so I quit and started this.
Okay.
So that was the impromptu to quit, but the reason I thought I could do things better is I have a long history and a long experience in creating content.
Yeah.
I started when I was 14 doing TV shows.
Oh,
so
no
I
way.
did,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so that was my start into on-camera experience,
crazy.
writing, doing contributing.
You made your own TV shows when you were 14?
No, I auditioned.
Okay.
And I got on a TV show.
Cool. Anything we can mention?
At that point, the first show I did was a public broadcast show. It was called Junior ECTV.
Huh.
Very few people watched it, but that was my introduction.
That's crazy.
The fun fact about that is my mom dropped me off at the audition and told me it was a debate club thing and said, go debate. And the whole point of it was they were looking for young people who could debate about real world events, politics, things like that, to be the youth component on the show.
Oh, interesting.
So as a very bratty teenager, I went in there and just destroyed everybody and got on the show.
Dang. That's amazing.
So that's how I started. And after doing that for 7 years, went to university. My partner and I actually worked as influencers for a while. So we did 250 million views in 2 years.
Wow.
And then we said, let's do this for other businesses. And
Cool.
then that's how we came full circle to starting Social Launch Labs.
Okay, let's not skip too far ahead. Okay, now the 250 million, what was the content you were creating? Or was it themed around a topic?
So we had a couple different channels. So we had a couples channel. My partner was a professional Call of Duty player. So we had a Call of Duty channel for him.
Yeah.
We did poker, we did golf. It really just, over those 2 years, we really it was a COVID project. We just threw everything into creating content and just created everything. So
that's wild.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I tried to get paid to play video games once. I was a video game tester when I lived in Vancouver, part-time. It was the worst job of my life.
Why?
I remember it was an NHL game. And I had to sit there for 8 hours a day, just passing the puck over and over again.
But was it gamified? Could you win? Could you rank?
No.
So you just had to
I just had to it was QA, so I just had to see if, hey, is there a glitch when he passes it? Is there a glitch when he backhands it? It was an awful job. So, yeah, if I were to just play Call of Duty or whatever and just get paid to do that, that would be the dream.
Wow.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
My partner is an extremely competitive person, and he started making YouTube videos in 2008, so he had his own camera background experience. But for him, it's all about the competition. He wants to be the best consistently. And even right now, he's ranked, I think, in one Fortnite mode, he's ranked 200th in the world right now today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's just a phenomenal, I've never seen someone with faster reflexes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang.
He never drops anything. Can you imagine living with someone? I drop things all the time, I'm so clumsy, and he's...
What is he, Peter Parker?
So
cool.
Hold on, let's dig into this a little bit. So the idea around content creation, and so did you start that before you started an agency, or is that the agency thing was sort of simultaneous, overlapping with
So
it?
content creation happened first.
Okay.
So after I wrapped up with TV, I decided, TV is probably not a great career choice for me. I had the itch. I really wanted to do camera work again. I love being in front of the camera. I love being behind the camera. I really love that. So when I met my partner, who had all that YouTube experience, he's like, we can do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And so he really brought me over to the dark side
Yeah.
and got me hooked on creating content for social media.
Right.
So it was after we did that and had kind of proof of concept where, you know, a little bit of imposter syndrome kicking in, you know, in the beginning being like, oh, we don't really know what we're doing. I don't want to really do anything for anybody else. But after 250 million views, a full-size TV commercial, a ton of brand partnerships, I was like, all right, we've proven our stuff at this point. Let's go open the agency. And, you know, I always wanted to be a business owner. So I was like, why not now? I just, on a Friday, I decided to quit my job. I quit my job on a Monday. I came home and told my husband, Brett, hey, I quit my job. So we've got 2 weeks to figure this out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, no
And then
discussion.
this is what came out of that.
And this is what came out of that, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I
Sounds
think,
like,
I think the number one thing when I quit my job is when it comes to creating social media content, the hardest part was finding a space to film.
Yeah.
And so that's why we didn't just go to creating like a traditional agency. We're like, no, we need a studio because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
need a space to create the content.
Yeah.
Everything else you can figure out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, so what's the problem you're trying to solve for the market?
Okay, great question.
Yeah.
Because I've thought about this endlessly.
Yeah.
We have decided that we're the in-between between a small business owner doing it themselves and a medium-sized business owner hiring out a marketing agency. So we really believe in something called founder-first marketing. So when a small business comes to us, we believe the founder knows the most about the industry. They have the most intelligence. They're just in it, right? So we put them in front of the camera. And so we help facilitate their on-camera experience, what they're going to talk about, the guests that they're going to have. And the reason that we do this is because, you know, I've heard some feedback from people who have gone to like marketing agencies and they get very generic content back.
Sure.
And marketing agencies are very expensive. There's a lot of reports that they do, which is important if you have the money to facilitate that. If you need to be scrappy because you're a small business owner, okay, you can come in here and the first day you're with us, you're going to get content.
Yeah.
You're going to get something out of it.
Yeah.
So we really are that in between before a business can really afford a marketing agency. And also kind of like, we're small business owners. I want to help other small business owners figure out how to do marketing. I can't tell you how many people and how many clients we have come into our studio who don't know what a sales funnel are, who's creating social media and they don't have a landing page. What's the point? But there's a knowledge gap there. So I really feel like that's where we plug into the market because we're also financially a little bit more accessible than a traditional agency as well.
do you do like founders? Some of the founders that I've worked with are just terrified to be on camera, right? Or anything like that, even on audio podcasts. Do you do any like on-air training, so to speak? Yeah.
When I was doing the TV show, my main role over the years, I turned into an interviewer. So I've done over 200 live interviews. And I've done interviews with everybody from Sophie Trudeau and Ted Danson to homeless people who are on the street. And so part of that experience was making people feel comfortable on camera and getting them to show their best version of themselves on camera. So I'm so thankful I've had that experience because now I utilize that every single day when I work with our clients. And a lot of the anxiety comes from not making intentional decisions. So we always sit down with our clients and go, how do you want to talk? Do you want to use technical terms? Do you want to use layman's terms? Are you going to swear? Do you want to do scripted? Do you want to do conversational style? You know, we sit down and say, what do you want to wear? How do you want to present yourself? Are you a suit? Maybe you're a doctor and you want to wear a white coat. We do really intentional set design, so we have our clients bring in their own props so that they can feel more comfortable, change the lights, change the background on the TV. And I think when you bring that intentionality into creating content, people feel like, oh, this is home, I feel comfortable, this is a space I can really relax into. And we see very, very often, I would say about 90% of our clients have no problem getting in front of the camera.
I want to know more about when you launched this versus what it is today. What? Because it's like I think it's such a like the idea around product market fit, and also there's a couple of trends that I think are working in your favor to some degree, with content creation being such a thing, creator economy. It's not even influencers anymore; it's a whole creator economy. Then there's a bazillion channels with a bazillion types of formats, and so now you've got all these places to put content without having the necessarily capability to make it or then split it, distribute it, all that kind of. So, kind of want to know, like, from where you thought you would be to where you are today, how much has the business evolved, the offering evolved?
Tremendously.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, when we started this business, I think I was 23.
Yeah.
I had just graduated university, I had worked 3 months in a corporate job, and that was it. So to tell you I had a lack of knowledge is an understatement. So I really came into this with the open mind being like, I don't know what I am doing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring people in who I think would be our ideal clients. I knew I wanted to work with small businesses, and I'm just going to ask them and do what I do best and interview them and figure out what their pain points are. So when we first started, we did everything and anything. We did on-site filming, we did filming in the studio, we did podcasts, YouTube, everything. And then we started to realize what works and what doesn't. So a few things came up that were really, really important. Time. Businesses and business owners do not have time. So everything that we do, we make it as streamlined and as efficient for the business owner as possible.
Yep.
We do a lot on the back end. It's very minimal for them. About 90 minutes a month is what they need to commit to actually get a month's worth of content when they work with us. So that was a big thing.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We have busted our butts to get it down to that, to make sure it's so efficient. The second thing is customer service. Business owners bring their clients in here, right? They bring other people who they want to kind of have a good experience. So we really, really focused on customer service. You know, do you need a coffee and tea? Here's where the washroom is. Let me get you set up. Here's your mic. We have somebody behind the camera who runs the tech, so you don't have to run the tech. We're one of the only studios in Calgary that has that. And that's not an add-on. That's a guarantee. Every single time you come into the studio, you always have a studio manager who's here to assist you. So customer service was a big thing. And then the third one was guidance, right? You talk about, oh, I'm going to be uncomfortable on camera. Well, here's how we can fix that. You know, oh, I don't know what to wear. Here's what you can wear and some tips and tricks to do that. Oh, I don't know what to film with. No worries. Let me sit down and talk to you, and we'll create a filming plan together that puts you and your knowledge front and center. So it was really from working with our clients and being very clear with myself that I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to be a sponge and absorb everything, where we went from here's a studio that you can film in to now we primarily work with our clients. It's all packages. It's done for you, done with you packages. So that's been a very, very big change over the last year and a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty smart to, listen to your customers to make decisions. Yeah, who'd have thought? Yeah,
but
right?
it's sometimes it's hard to put yourself in a scenario where you actually can gain like true feedback.
Yeah,
it's true.
True feedback.
Yeah.
We're very lucky that in our business, I can create a scenario where I can sit down and interview my clients for an hour.
Yeah, true.
And I might be creating content for them, but I'm also getting data for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
But how many times, like, you seem like a go-getter, and you seem like I can do everything based on how you started the company. How many times have you been like, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, I can do this. I can do this. But you've like niched down to this specific service that you're doing. How many times have you been like,
how many times have things blown up in my face?
Yeah, I should expand my services or do everything and not cut anything out, that type of thing.
You know, I'm really lucky. Have you heard of Alex and Laila Hobbs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're big content creators. They're big business content creators. And I've been following them since before I started the business. And one of the things that Alex always said and Laila always says is niche down. Do one thing really, really, really well. So in the beginning, I knew I had to do a lot of things to test and try out what we were doing.
Right.
But I always had that idea in mind, is I need to find the one thing that we're going to be really, really good at. And so, yeah, there was a lot of things that I did where, I tried to do these fancy, like, videography, architectural style for an architect. Guess what? I'm not a good videographer. That's why our cameras are on tripods.
Yeah.
So there definitely have been moments where I've gone into something and I've been like, you know what? I actually can't do this job. And I always try and, like, be honest with the client. If I get into it and be like, hey, I can't do this job. If you've given me any money, I refund all of it. And then I just be like, sorry. Like, here's who I would recommend based on my network, but sometimes you just can't do the job, and you just have to accept that and move on with your life. You can't get in the pits about, like, the one thing about entrepreneurship that I love is every single day I do something that I don't know how to do. So I screw up probably 100 times a week, but I am also in the position where I trust myself enough to fix my screw ups and to do the right thing. And that's all you can really do.
There's also a thing around, when it comes to strategy, I think this is true, and I'm projecting on you, but when I say this, but to make a choice about, I think you have to go through that thrashing part at the beginning and like try everything to really figure out the things you like and what fits with the market and all that kind of stuff. But then you get to a point where you're like, okay, we maybe had 2 or 3 directions you could go. we're going to go down this direction, which ends up being the studio. And then, but so that might sound niche, but it doesn't mean tiny.
No.
Right? Like the now as I'm sitting here thinking like, this is a pretty cool model. Like you could do this a whole bunch of places around all of Calgary or all around the world even. Like so it doesn't mean small, it just means specific.
I made a very intentional decision to choose this business model for scale. I was working with a business coach in the first few months that we started the business, and we were going back and forth between having a model that is kind of the McDonald's model. We can have a lot of locations.
Right.
It will be 80% for most people. Or we could niche up and do really hyper-focused content creation. Like we're gonna go into places like Apple and Coke and create these insane videos, or if you see even Duolingo or Scrub Daddy, really do these viral type of content, because we did the viral thing, we know how to make viral videos. And my business coach said to me, well, you can either be the best in class and be a niche consultant, or you can be the biggest in class. And I wanted the scalability. I want to be the biggest, like if I'm gonna dream, I'm gonna dream as big as possible. Do I think this company could be $100 million company? Yeah, absolutely. Like there's no question in my mind. And that's the lifestyle that I wanted. So I chose a business model that would allow us to scale extremely fast if we wanted to. Like to open up one of our studios, it's less than $20,000 in the model that we have. And we have a central editing team, so every location that we have one editing team to reduce costs. Like we do a lot of things like that to make it as scalable as quickly as possible.
That's cool. How many locations do you have?
This is still our first one, but we've got a couple secret projects that are under work right now.
The camera's not picking up your audio. It's the microphone.
I know. But this is definitely not going to be our last location. We have new locations that we're working on opening up right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It sounds like you've got a lot of future plans with it. You're not just like stagnant, which is great. You've got a team behind you, which is lovely as well. And I think like you're helping a lot of people. I go on LinkedIn and everybody's recommending you to different companies and so on and so forth. Like who are some of like are you allowed to talk about who some of your biggest like retainer clients are or anything like that?
I can't talk about our biggest ones. We do have a few multinationals who are definitely our biggest clients, but I can definitely say we touch a lot of small businesses here in Calgary. We work primarily with B2B businesses. We don't really do a lot of consumer-based businesses, but we've worked with a lot of people. We've had a ton of people like in the studio here to film. Even just last week, we had the actor who plays Simba in the Lion King musical do an interview in here.
Oh, cool.
So that was kind of a fun person to have in the studio. It's the biggest musical in the entire world. They tour across the country. They happen to be in Calgary right now, and they wanted to come do a podcast, and they chose our studio.
Did you guys jam or anything like that? Or?
No, he's a singer, so.
Yeah, well, I thought around bass and vocals. I don't know.
Bass and vocals. No, I didn't want to tire out his voice. He's got a big job, got to maintain that. But no, like the beauty of the studio is really anybody and everybody can find a reason to film once in a while.
Yeah.
And so we really get like some of the most insane businesses through here.
Like I had this thought way back when around rather than making stuff that's viral, if I make stuff that's useful, and in a B2B process, there's so many things that are repetitive that especially with all this, like I don't know how to do all this, but I know the information. So yeah, like you can just record. You can ask me in 90 minutes, and I have not even a month's worth. It probably is more like a year's worth of stuff. Yeah. Before I need to even think about refreshing it, because it's the same kinds of questions, the frequently asked questions I'm getting all the time. If I just answer those, then the assets can live
forever.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And that's the great thing too, is because we get a lot of clients who come in, like we definitely I believe as a content creator, we have a duty to put good things into the world, not stupid things. I think there's a lot of stupid things on social media. And
guilty as charged.
Guilty, but we did that too, right? So whenever I work with clients, I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, one of my personal rules is this valuable?
Yeah.
If someone watches this, is that going to be a waste of their 5 minutes, or is it going to be a value for their 5 minutes? So focusing on content from an education perspective is hugely valuable, and it builds trust. So if you're a business consultant and you're on social media, when a prospect comes to you, they already feel like they have rapport with you because they've seen you, they know your face, they know your mannerisms. That level of trust really, really helps our clients when they're selling.
Yeah.
So what about like, you came from an influencer background. I don't know why I'm doing this, sorry. But like, or creator background, I should say. Jumping on trends is always such a big deal when it comes to that creation part. But like with B2B, it's hard to jump on trends because you can't, there's that one trend, I don't know where I'm going with it, but where like somebody throws a box and then it cuts the other person and the guy goes, oh, I bet you're waiting for the box to hit me and blah, blah. Everybody's doing it for some reason. And there's like businesses where I'm just like, why are you jumping on this just to go viral, even though 1 million people have already done this? How have you felt the need to have to jump on those trends, or have you had any? No, have you ever had any like clients?
Clients want viral, but they don't know that viral's not always useful. Like everyone's like, oh, get the most amount of views, get the most amount of views. But if you get the most amount of views with a group that's not your clientele or not your prospects, great. That's not going to. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not going to convert to sales.
Just social validation at that point, right?
Exactly. And from like, why are businesses here? They're here to expand their business. So if we can't do that with the content that we're creating, why waste the money?
Yeah.
I never want my clients to come in here and feel like they've wasted money. Oh, we just did a viral trend and it didn't connect with anybody. Frankly, I also hate viral trends because I suck at lip syncing and I suck at dancing, which is like 90% of viral trends. Yeah. So I am very anti. We never did trends when we were influencers. There were a few trends that came out of us, but even back then we didn't do trends.
Okay.
Even with trends too, I mean, this isn't necessarily the same thing around the idea around producing something viral, but things like COVID came out. Oh, we're all in this together, and everybody jumps on the same thing, right? So it's kind of like the same. It's not a trend, but you know what I mean? Like people just do that kind of stuff.
But it feels very disingenuous.
Totally.
Right? Like
there's
a
giant waste of money for the most part. Like
totally. Yeah. Like, and it's like, why? Why are you spending all this money? Like, we got to remember content creating as an individual person. Like when I'm an influencer and I'm content creating, there is a natural connection that people have. They naturally have a little bit more trust in a solo person. When you're content creating for a business, that's a different ballgame. You cannot do what works for an influencer and do that for a business and expect good results. It's just not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Anytime you have like business in there, the internet is smart. People get more skeptical about the intentions behind why you're creating the content that you're creating.
I'm trying to think of an example. Wendy's might be the only example that I can think of at the moment where Wendy became sort of a character.
Yeah.
And so they play it like a character. So I think that there may be other examples.
There's
That's the only one that
Duolingo.
comes to mind. Yeah.
Duolingo has the owl.
Yeah, totally.
Scrub Daddy has the big Scrub Daddy mascot that they do.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of businesses who have done that really, really effectively.
But then you got to commit to it too. It's not just a one and done
it's
thing.
not just a one and done thing.
No. And then that's the thing. Like when you look at the businesses that do that effectively, that have an avatar that connects to people, they're typically B2C. Because they are trying to connect with as many people as possible. Yeah. If you go to a business consultant and if I said to them, hey, if I got you 1,000 clients tomorrow, what would you do? They're like, my head would explode and I would die, right? Like it's not reasonable to, when you're working with a client, you also have to think of what is their max capacity, right? Because you never want a situation where all of a sudden you do a campaign, it goes semi-viral, and then all of a sudden they get all these prospects and they can't fulfill. A lot of small businesses talk about being on Oprah's, Christmas list and how that kills them because they get a bad reputation because they can't fulfill.
Right.
So there's a lot of considerations when creating content on how to do it in a way that's smart for business that is kind of counterintuitive because it's a little bit of a limiter.
Yeah. So interesting.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, this is a great company. It's a great
Thank you.
Product, great service. We liked it today, I would say. I don't want to speak for you, but it's been great.
It's okay.
Just kidding.
No.
It's 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic, I'm a B2B content creator myself, so I think, this is a fantastic service that you offer, and I think a lot of folks for the next few years are going to really enjoy using it. So I just wanted to say congrats on all the work that you've done with the company, and thanks for coming on the podcast.
Not to mention it's not $20,000 that I have to invest in making the content like for a one-off thing. Like it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that was a big thing too, is like such a barrier when we started content creating. I always wanted a place where I could pay $100 an hour and go film, versus buying $20,000 worth of equipment. The one great thing is when we did set this place up, we already had all the cameras and everything.
Yeah,
so
right.
it really reduced
Yes.
our cost to set it
Yeah.
up. So it was,
Yeah.
you know, you got to use what you got, right?
Yeah.
And I think being a little bit desperate really, really helps in entrepreneurship. You really
Yeah, of
gotta
course.
have to like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
we
true.
really gotta get this done, and it really pushes you forward. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid of desperation as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Use it well.
Yeah, I just try not to look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
I got a
awesome.
wait list of clients waiting for me, which is not true. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you so much
That's been great.
for having us and also jumping on our podcast as well. And do you want to do the outro for us?
I
or what do you
absolutely can
think?
do the outro. This has
All
been a
right.
pleasure. I've enjoyed it. You guys asked great questions even though it was on the fly. This has been a really fun conversation.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Spotlight. You were joined here by Derek, Marc, and Laila Hobbs from Social Launch Labs. This podcast was filmed in the Social Launch Labs studio in Calgary. I'm going to plug myself because I
Yeah,
can.
go for
Of
it.
course. Yeah.
Thanks for filming, and if you'd like to watch more episodes, please check out the description below. You can find this podcast on
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Spotify, YouTube.
Everywhere. Yeah, Spotify, YouTube.
YouTube's. Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. Anywhere there's an RSS feed.
Anywhere where there's an RSS feed, and if you'd like to connect with Derek and Marc, you can reach them on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Their profiles will be in the description below.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you.